Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing a 1-year very honest review of my Dyson Airwrap. I purchased this a little over a year ago, January of last year, and I wanted to give you guys a very honest rundown of how I've been liking it, how I've been using it, and just all of the things about the Dyson Airwrap in case you are curious. I have quite a few videos around the Dyson Airwrap, and I haven't really cut my hair drastically since I got it. So when I first got the Dyson Airwrap, my hair was quite a bit shorter, and obviously my hair has grown, especially with pregnancy. If you guys are new here, I am 34 weeks pregnant today. And so my hair has grown a ton, and I wanted to show you guys kind of an updated hair routine with the Dyson Airwrap, and also just show you guys how it performs with longer hair and just my thoughts in general on owning it for a year. So if you guys are new to my channel, I'll have all of my Dyson videos linked down below in the description box if you want to check them out. I've also compared the Dyson Airwrap side by side to the Shark Flexstyle, so if you want to watch a video on which one to get, you can definitely check that out. Spoiler alert, I still use my Dyson almost every day over the Shark Flexstyle. So if that's any indicator, I think the Dyson Airwrap is totally worth the splurge. But if you are trying to save some money, definitely check out that video because truthfully, the Shark does perform pretty well. But I wanna go ahead and get into this video. So I'm gonna start off by actually changing the part in my hair. So for today's video, I am gonna be styling my hair with the Dyson Airwrap with a side part. And I have not had a side part since I think maybe high school or college. And a week ago, I was like, I think I wanna change up my hair. And it was one of those moments where I was like, do I cut my hair? Do I get bangs again? Because I used to have straight across bangs for the longest time. And I decided to land in a really happy place with just changing up my part. So if you are feeling really tired of your hair, if you don't want to do anything too drastic, you can always just change the part in your hair and get a totally different look. So if you guys have watched my past Dyson videos, I've always had a middle part in all of those videos. And this video, we're gonna be doing a side part. So if you're wondering what the Dyson curls look like with a side part, then maybe this video is just helpful for you in general. But this is the case that the Dyson comes in, and I keep this now in our closet in the bathroom. I used to have it in a bottom drawer at our old house, and I loved this case over the Shark case for me personally because it just had a lid. So I actually kept it in the drawer in our old house without the lid on it, and I could just pull the drawer open, grab my Airwrap out, and it was super easy to get to. Whereas the Shark one, if you guys saw that video, you have to unzip it and pull the whole case out. This is also super convenient for if you're keeping it on your vanity or in your closet. I definitely recommend keeping it covered though, because it is a fan system. It just keeps everything from getting dusty and keeps your Dyson working really, really well. I haven't had to clean it out all that much. I honestly kind of forget to clean it. I've maybe cleaned it twice since I've gotten it, but really I haven't had any problems with it. With the filter, the cleaning process is so easy. It comes with a little brush, but I've just taken my finger and the dust just falls right off of it. So that clips on there. I haven't had any issues with the fan, the power, heat settings, anything like that. It's been super reliable. I use it all the time, and I've had, like I said, zero problems with it. So as far as build quality, reliability, zero complaints here. I also, just to warn you guys, I'm probably gonna be relatively out of breath this entire video because again, 34 weeks pregnant and it's a little bit harder these days. This is what the inside of the box looks like, and it's honestly looking a little bit gross because the inside is a black felt. You can't really see the bottom of it, but it's a black kind of velvety felt insert, and so it just gets dirty. That's one thing to keep in mind is it's not gonna stay pristine. I've had it for a year, I've used it a ton, and you can tell that it has in fact been used. As far as the brush attachments go, I find myself using the blow dryer attachment a ton. I use this one over this one more. I don't really know why. This one's for finer hair, thinner hair, and this one's for thicker, coarser hair. I probably should be using this one more, but for some reason I really do just use this one more. So as far as like paddle brushes go, again, I don't think you need both of them. I tend to just pick one and use one. And then as far as the curling attachments go, truthfully, I just use the smaller one. So this is the Complete Long Dyson Airwrap. So these are the longer barrels. I think that these are the best barrels because they switch between left and right side. It's super easy, it's super quick. You don't have to change out the barrel when you're switching sides. So I love that hands down. I think that is the best thing about the Dyson Airwrap. I honestly use this one the most because I find that when it comes to really wanting to take the time to Dyson Airwrap my hair, and I've talked about this before, but Dyson Airwrapping your hair is a process. It's time consuming. It's a little bit of a learning curve when you first do it, but the results are honestly so good that I think it's worth it. I don't get compliments on my hair unless I've used my Dyson, and I'm not kidding you. You get compliments by like the most random people. It's one of those things that you don't notice it until you start to like Dyson Airwrap your hair, and then people actually say something about your hair. They're like, your hair looks incredible. It's just a different look, and it's a Dyson Airwrap look. And so when I decide to Dyson Airwrap my hair, which isn't every single week, but when I do decide to do it, I like the smaller barrel because I find that the curls do fall a little bit. So it doesn't matter how much product you use, it doesn't matter how much time you take, just naturally, if you're planning on wearing your Dyson Airwrap curls for days, they are gonna fall a little bit. So I always like to start out with really curled, voluminous hair and let them fall throughout the week to be a little bit more of a blowout look. So I always opt in for the smaller barrel. However, if I am doing my hair and I don't want it to look super tightly curled, I know that I'm not trying to get my curls to last for at least 3 days, I'll use the bigger one, which honestly isn't super often because if I'm going through the whole process of Dyson Airwrapping my hair, we're getting those curls to last at least 3 days, or to me, I'm like, it's not really worth doing. So truthfully, I use this one 99% of the time. Sometimes I use this one, but it's so rare that I don't even feel like really mentioning this one. I just feel like this one it's almost like giving yourself a round brush look where it's smooth, it has a little bit of curl, but this is like the super, super voluminous, bouncy, full curl attachment in my opinion. This is the one I've always used in my videos and it's my favorite. Even with longer hair, I still find that this is the best and gives you the best results for days. The round brush attachment, if I'm being super honest, I don't use that much. I think I used it a little bit more when I had more like front kind of like face framing pieces that were just like a little bit like longer bangs. Right now my face framing pieces are quite a bit longer, so I can actually wrap these with the barrel. But when they were a little bit shorter, I used the round brush to do kind of these front pieces like this. However, I'm lazy and I just use this attachment now. And honestly, even if you do have shorter face framing pieces, you can use the bigger barrel and just air wrap them back like this, and it's a lot quicker in my opinion. It lasts a little bit longer unless you want to do the whole round brush, clip it in kind of, and then like have it cool and hold like that for a while while you're doing the rest of your makeup. You can do that. Again, I'm lazy with it and I just use the barrels. So that's my rundown review of the attachments. I feel like with the Airwrap, once you get it and you try out everything, you're gonna get a routine down with it and you're gonna realize that you don't use every single piece every single time. You're gonna find what you like about it, what you don't like about it. You're gonna figure out your preference of how you want your hair to look, and you kind of just develop a routine with it that you don't change that much. So I'm gonna do my go-to routine with the smaller attachment, and we're gonna start by sectioning off the hair. I highly recommend sectioning off your hair, no matter how thick or thin your hair is, no matter how long it is. It just makes everything so much easier. These are little clips from T3 that I really like. I find it's the easiest way to keep the hair out of the way. And then what I do is I just section it down the middle and the back and pull the two sides out like this. So with the Dyson Airwrap, heat protectant is, I would say, the most important step of the entire process, because even though Dyson says minimal damage to your hair, you always want to use a heat protectant. It is still a ton of heat on your hair, and if you're doing it every week, just make sure you're using some kind of heat protectant. So there are a couple that I've been using and have been loving. The first one is the Prep Rally Prime Prep Detangler and Heat Protectant. This is from Drybar. I think I've used this in past videos. It's a really good one. I like that it detangles and it gets your hair ready to have heat on it. The other one that I've been using is the Bondi Boost Heat Protectant Spray. And this one, I feel like just works pretty well. It smells good, but really any heat protectant is gonna be fine. You can decide if you want to use a spray or if you want to use a cream. Because I have a little bit more like grippy, coarser hair, I don't have super fine hair, I find that I can get away with a spray and don't really need a cream. Sorry, you will probably hear my dogs barking in the background. One thing that I would highly recommend is having your hair be like 95% of the way dry or just completely dry. So I actually washed my hair last night. So my hair is, like pretty much dry. Sometimes my hair will still be a little bit damp the next day, but I like to have my hair mostly dry because I find that it just holds so much better. And then also, if your hair is too wet, the actual Airwrap can't grab hold of your hair because it's too heavy. So that's something to keep in mind. I like to just go off of pretty much dry hair, and I'm gonna use the Drybar Prep Rally spray and just spray it all throughout my hair. And if you're using a heat protectant spray anyway, it kind of makes your hair that like 95% of the way damp anyway. So I feel like you can go in with completely dry hair, spray it with your heat protectant, and you're pretty much at that really good like sweet spot as far as like dampness goes. So I'm not gonna talk through it too much while I'm doing it because obviously it's gonna be going, but you just flip it over to the side that you're gonna be curling. So we're gonna go this way, and I always like to curl away from my face. I just find that that looks the best, and I start in the back. Pro tip is always work in small sections, especially if you have long hair. You have to work in small sections or you're just not gonna get a good curl, and you're not gonna get a curl that lasts. So like I said, you have to be so patient with the Dyson Airwrap. If you are in a rush, what I do, and this is like a little tip hack for you guys, if you're in a rush and you're like, I don't have time to Dyson Airwrap my entire head of hair, what I would do is take a 1.25 inch curling iron, so the same barrel width as this, and curl all of your bottom layers in bigger sections, because with the curling iron you can kind of work in bigger sections. Do all of the under part of your hair with a curling iron and then Dyson Airwrap the top. It's a very similar look. So that's what I do if I'm in a rush and I'm like, I want the Dyson look, I don't have the time to do the Dyson whole process. Do a half and half. As long as the top layer is the Dyson Airwrap and you get that volume up here, it's not too big of a difference than doing your whole head of hair. But we're gonna do this side, then we'll move to this side. I also like to hold it on the first strand of hair that I do a little bit longer to give the barrel time to heat up. Also, I don't use the cool shot button. I never turn that on because I find that cooling down the barrel every single time you do a curl, it just takes forever for the barrel to heat back up, so it ends up taking longer. And another tip that I would say is when you are Dyson Airwrapping your hair, you wanna grab it from the top, like by your roots, so that you're getting a section that is kind of bunched together versus grabbing like down here at the bottom and then you've got some top hair, some bottom hair. If you're grabbing it from kind of near the root, you're getting a really good section that's very close together. Then you're gonna take your Airwrap and start at the base like this. As you guys saw too, you're gonna kind of wiggle it up and down the hair and have it get a little bit tighter as you go, because you want it to be like tight around the barrel. So doing this like up and down movement just helps the air wrap kind of grab onto the hair better. And then once the barrel itself is actually heated up, it does not take long at all to curl your hair. And also make sure you turn the air wrap off before you pull it through, or you're gonna mess up the curls that you just did. But you really aren't leaving it on your hair for too long. I also don't want to scare you guys off and say that it's like extremely time consuming, because honestly, once you get the hang of it, you can kind of work pretty quickly. It's more so just you have to make sure you're not working in too big of sections, or it just starts to get a little bit chaotic. So I'm gonna switch it over to the other side here, and we're gonna curl starting in the back, moving towards the front, working in small sections, grabbing the sections near the roots. So now that the base layer is curled, I'm gonna let them cool completely, and we're not gonna brush through them or run our hands through them until we're done with the entire head of hair, and the entire head of hair has been cooled as well. So I'm gonna grab a finishing spray, spray these, and then let them cool completely. This is the Living Proof Full Dry Volume and Texture Spray. I really like this because it's super lightweight, but it just adds a little bit of grip, a little bit of texture, but it's not sticky or crunchy like a hairspray. So it's more of like a texture grip adder. And I'll just kind of bunch them up, let them cool. Okay, once the curls have been completely cooled, I'll take a silk scrunchie and I will very gently pull them back into just like a loose, low pony to just get them out of the way as I work on the top section. So I'm gonna take this section down here, and for some reason, I feel like I always kind of start left to right. So I'm gonna start on the left side here, and instead of down the middle, since my hair is parted now on this side, I'm gonna grab kind of where that part is, and I'm gonna clip this up to get it out of the way with that same clip. And we're gonna work on this section here. I'm gonna spray it with my heat protectant spray, and then under here. And same thing, we're gonna go away from the face, starting in the back, working our way forward. I'm gonna flip it over to this side again, and we're gonna work in those same kind of smaller sections. And you really wanna take your time with the top layer, because obviously this is like the part that gets seen. Also, if you find that your curls look kind of chaotic coming out of the air wrap, it probably means that you just worked in too big of a section. So try to like take some hair out of that section and do it again. And also just the longer the hair, the smaller the section, because you want all your hair to be able to wrap around the barrel. And if your hair is really long, then there's gonna be parts of your hair that don't actually get to the heat. So just like I said, I mean, tiny sections. I also find that the smaller the sections I work into, the longer my air wrap hair lasts and the more curled it is. So these face framing pieces, I like to go more like on top to just try to get some good volume there. And we're not gonna touch this side, but we're gonna move over to the other side now. Because my hair is now parted, not in the middle, I might break this up actually into one more section because it's a little bit thicker on this side now because my hair is parted on this side. So I'm actually gonna clip this part back and do this under side here. I would love to know, leave a comment down below. Do you part your hair in the middle or do you have a side part? Because now I'm curious. I feel like the middle part has been so in, and I've had a middle part for forever. I'll probably go back to the middle part, but I've just been enjoying a little bit of a change. I'd love to know if you guys middle part or side part your hair. Okay, we're gonna switch it over to this side. Same exact situation. Same thing as we did with the bottom layer. I'm going to spray, let it cool all the way. And then I'm gonna take this bottom section out of the scrunchie and now put all of it back in a very loose ponytail as I do this top section here. And same deal, except I'm gonna do all this a little bit more on top of my head, again, to try to get some good volume up there. All right, so same thing. We're gonna spray, let it cool. I know it's like very intense right now. This is what I call poodle hair because it's definitely very intense. But I promise you, if you want your curls to like really last for 3 days, the first day has to look something like this. There's just no way around it. And I will have my video down below of like my actual tutorial where I show you guys kind of day 2, day 3 hair. So you can see what it looks like each day as it falls a little bit. Obviously your first day is gonna be the most intense. I mean, I like the full glam, like voluminous curl look, but if you don't like the super full voluminous curl look, you can just use the bigger barrel and you won't get as drastic of curls. But I'm gonna let these finish cooling and then we will brush through them and you'll see the finished look. Now that they are completely cooled, you guys can see what they look like before we brush through them. Like, you're just not gonna get curls like this without the Airwrap or the Flexstyle. It's just such a unique look. And so I'm going to gently brush through the ends to just try to calm them down a little bit, make them smoother looking. And I like to use either like a wet brush or something similar. This one is from Amazon. It's basically the same concept as a wet brush, and it just is a lot more light and gentle on your hair. But brush through the ends like this, and you can kind of zhuzh it up a little bit if you want to. But this is the finished look. And like I said, all of this is gonna chill out throughout the day. So don't be like alarmed by the way that your hair holds a curl, because it just is naturally gonna fall a little bit. But this is what the hair looks like. For touching up your hair, this is a step that I really like to use, is using some kind of heat protectant oil. So this is the Olaplex bonding oil. It has heat protectant in it. So when I go to update my front pieces tomorrow, because obviously I'm gonna sleep with my hair up in a bun, and then these pieces are the only things that I'm gonna touch up tomorrow and the next day, and even possibly the next day, I'll use a little bit of a heat protectant oil. That way I don't have to like spray my hair and get it wet with the spray, and I'll just run it through before I go in with the Airwrap again. And then also, if you like a hair oil, this is just preference. Not everybody likes a hair oil because your hair might just be more oily, but my hair is relatively like, I wouldn't say super dry and brittle, but because it's colored and it's lightened, it just needs a little bit of hydration. So I like to use this even after I finish styling, and just like a little bit, and just kind of run it through the ends. And it just makes everything feel so smooth and bouncy, and it just takes the frizz away. And I feel like it just makes my hair look super healthy. But this is the final hair. And if you've had any hesitations on getting the Airwrap after having it for a solid year and using it consistently, I've had zero problems, zero complaints, other than the fact that it is just a little bit more time consuming. But that's what you get for hair like this. Like, you want your hair to look like this, you gotta go through the process of it. But I hope this video was helpful for you guys. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you end up grabbing the Airwrap. And don't forget to subscribe if you are new here. If you want to stick around for some more videos, I'll have all of my Dyson review videos and tutorial videos down below in the description box if you want to check those out. But I will see you guys in my next one really soon. Bye guys.